Well, that all went rather well. It went to plan. That doesn't happen often. You know, I said we'd be back this week with the other car, number 139. Well, I might have cocked that up a little bit because it goes into storage. The local car auction arrange it, and when I want it back, I ring them, they get it to their place, I pick it up. So I did all that, and I went there Monday morning and said, car back this week? And they went, no, next week. So it's gonna be next week. This week was gonna be a quiet bit of catching up in the workshop and visit that later, but now it's centre stage. So I'll show you the fix we've been putting on the other smashed corner, which will be the second Concord corner. The steelwork on that other corner was gone when I got the tub, completely absent. And I put a really ugly bodge on it just to get the thing on its wheels so I could look at it. This is a piece of crash damage that finished it because it ripped out the jacking point and that fixing for the rear frame. Note the special safety trousers. Designed to be very, very fine so you can feel when the sparks hit you. Therefore, you can redirect your grinding to make sure the sparks don't hit you, which is obviously safer. Oh, yummy! Look at the quality. This is the opposite Concord corner, and it's anything but Concord. We've got to think of a fix to put on this. It's been split. This jacking point wasn't here. We never had it. It's full of holes, and it went a bit fizzy, and we've taken the core out, but I mean, even what's left is in very poor shape, so we need to dream up a fix for that. This bit of bodgery might not make the final edit, John. That's everything clean. It's not difficult to get it clean, it just takes an age. And I wouldn't bore you with making you watch it. So get some etch on there and it'll be ready for glue. At some point we really ought to consider cleaning the floor. All the honeycomb in there is completely gone, totally gone. And having cleaned it up a bit and learned a bit, we've made this, which is a patch to go on the outside, rivets on, made of 5000 series aluminium, which is marine grade, I guess, somewhere around there, 1mm thick, pitch of rivets, not too dense a pitch because there's extra rivets to go in yet to hold the steelwork, but that is going to be the foundation from which we build a new honeycomb core on the inside of there. This is the rivets that we're going to put into the doubler. It is 3/32 of an inch in diameter. It has 100 degrees countersink, so it will go into 1mm material, and it's not a closed stem rivet, and it's not made by pop. Just to give you some sense of scale, that's the drill and the rivet and a normal pencil. And this is the countersinking tool. It's all aircraft kit, so as you might imagine, the locking ring is left-hand thread, so it tightens as you go rather than coming loose while you work. You can adjust it extremely precisely by drawing the collar back and rotating the nose so it locks in with those small teeth for absolute precision. And when you push it forwards or you push it down onto the job, it lets you set the cutting height to an absolute fraction of a millimeter so you can get your countersinks perfect every time. Tremendous piece of equipment. Quick countersinking stuff. Shallow that angle, the thinner the material you can get into. So you can imagine if that was 45 degrees, you'd be into much thicker material. When you countersink, your countersink must only ever go to the bottom of the first layer. You don't want this condition where it goes through the first skin and then partially into the second, because what you're after is for that to be pulled hard against that. And when you've got this condition going on, you don't get that because the rivet pulls against there and there, and you've pretty well defeated yourself. And the final thing is, if you don't have the thickness but you must countersink, then do it like that and leave some of your rivet head standing proud, because you can always shave that bit off and it doesn't matter because it wasn't doing anything anyway because that bit's not touching. There you go, countersinking facts. Okay, we're going to do a drill and countersink. I'm going to put a little bit of isopropyl on there because isopropyl is a marvellous lubricant when you're cutting aluminium, and it flashes off without leaving any residue. So I'm going to pop a little hole in there. Nice sharp 332 drill. Got to use sharp drills on this. Tends to smear if you don't. Pop that into the hole. And there you have one perfect aircraft quality, good to go countersink. Lovely job. That's everything pinned, or as pinned as it needs to be, and it's all set up with spreaders on the back to clamp it, pin it, rivet it, the whole lot. Except the glue hasn't arrived, which is massively frustrating because we could be putting glue on there now, but we'll just have to wait. And then it's got to stand for days before you can do anything with it. Never mind, we're getting there. And what a difference a day makes. The glue has arrived. And I asked the King supplier of resin what the King uses resin for, thinking he's going to fix palaces and castles and that sort of thing. Apparently it's used to fix furniture and the occasional trip into the loft if the rafters get creaky after a gale. So now we know what the King does with resin. What we're going to do with it is glue this corner in over here. This is the final arrangement to pin the panel. We've made a pair of spreaders. That one has the same pin pattern as there, and this one has the same pin pattern as there. And that will allow us to put a pin right through this panel into the spreader at the back and clamp that either side of the existing old skin still on the car. Anything we don't want adhesive to stick to is covered in this, which is a thick clear tape which is used to stop drafts coming up through floors, but anything you cover in that, epoxy won't stick to. So let's get some glue mixed and get this built. That's a little bit further on, and you can see now how the glue is really starting to come out through the holes. That's good, it means the back is completely covered. There's going to be no gaps or air spaces. And it's still a case of just keep putting pins in. And once this is clamped down solidly, we'll start to take them out and replace them with rivets. Over the years we've tried all manner of exotic rivet pulling machinery, but if you want to buy one, you'd look a long way to do better than this one. It's cheap, it's cheerful, I don't know what make it is, it doesn't even say. We've got a fleet of these, you can't break them, they'll pull any rivet you want to put in the spout, completely reliable, very highly recommended. If I could give it stars it would get 5. Some rivets, last. Hold on it. Right, I'm just having to release the doubler on the back, otherwise I'll rivet that to the job, which I don't want to do. But it's served its purpose now. Served its purpose admirably. That's all the rivets in, and the corner give a little bit of a wipe down, but it's still not quite there because, as I said, the countersink can only go through the top layer of material, and therefore these rivet heads are standing just a tiny, tiny bit proud. So we'll get the shaver on them and get them down flush, and that'll be a proper job. Rolling. Right, just going to take these down a little bit with a rivet shaver because the heads are standing a bit proud. It's a bit like a countersinker, and that you can set it up to the nth degree just to knock the heads down because they're standing up. Take pride. Get them all down flat. And then when that gets high build primer on it, you'll not see them. One day we'll be saying, hey, it's gone to the paint shop. Don't know when that's going to be. What we're going to do in there now?
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, but we didn't rinse this one the same way. That one didn't have an outer rinse.
No. It's a lot stronger than...
It's tremendous, isn't it?
I think we need to put some core in the bottom half.
Do the bottom half first, do you think?
Yes, up to the jacking point.
And get the bottom level?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it up.
Because it's stepped in that corner, isn't it? Where we've got a step in this corner.
Yeah.
So you reckon core the bottom to get level?
Up to the jacking point.
Up to the jacking point, and then core the rest separately.
And bring the rest up.
Bring the rest up. I think that's a good idea.
And it'll allow us to get these...
We can get the top the right height.
Top
Yeah.
ones.
Should we do that?
Good idea.
Let's do some of that.
Okie dokie.
I don't think this is going to be long enough to get where we want to be. It's got to go from, where's it going to go? There. Is it long enough?
No.
No. 2 more inches. Right, okay. That one not long enough?
No.
Stretch that one out.
Okay.
Trying to get it started, it's the worst bit. Yeah, trying to get the end. Trying to get the end to actually start. It's the hard bit. There it goes. I don't know how you're meant to do this with any sort of accuracy. Because that seems to be all the cells pulled on the end, but it's got a funny angle. Anyway. Whee! Oh, satisfying. Oh, where am I going? There? Experiment time! I don't think you're going to load that single-handed, are you, John? I think I'm going to have to jump in and give you a hand with this. You getting it? I can work around rivet heads with my table knife if you need it. Is it loaded? Oh, look at that! Oh, look! Woohoo! Just needs a bit tidy up with some clamps. Oh, that's impressive, isn't it? Right to the bottom. Good job, John. Good job. That's it all in, clamped. Bottom half is cored. We're all covered in the King's resin. But that can sit with the heaters on and the glue can go off on there. That's looking very good now. That's that corner finished. And I'll show you that in a second. It ended up taking up every spare minute we've had this week, because we had to do it in 4 bites with the glue going off in between. First bite was the new outer skin, then we put a 3-inch band of core in the bottom to get a level surface, then we built the core up to height, and finally we stuck the inner skins of the panel, the original panel, back in. So that's all done. It's really solid, it's come out very well. We learned a lot doing it, and yeah, as John said, good job. I haven't seen this yet. That's it still on its blankets, under its covers. Solid brick outside toilet material, that is. And there it is, all finished. Yes, it needs a little bit of tidying up here and there. There's a few raggedy bits in the bottom, but let's face it, we can handle that. It needs some new core in the top of there, but we can handle that too. And that is now massively strong. And it also has to have a steel over the top, steel cover for the jacking point and the space frame pickup. So that's probably the strongest part on the chassis now. And I've got a feeling we're going to have to do the other side the same, otherwise we'll just wish we had. Well, that was interesting. We enjoyed it anyway. We learned quite a bit more about honeycomb and we're ever more comfortable working with it. So, as usual, I hope you found it interesting, maybe informative, and thank you very much for watching. And next week, fingers crossed, we'll have 139 out and we can have a go with a rather more complete RS200. So don't forget to hit the subscribe thing. There's a little square flag in the corner and the round thing will be here in a minute. And we'll see you on the next one, which should be end of next week. See you then.